Hey, here's a controversial one right here. This and you know I covered this on Tuesday, but I didn't get into the Dirk portion of it. I got into the portion where J Kidd was trying to, compare Luka and say Luka was in the realm of Mike and Kobe, and that's why I went with it. I don't have Kidd's soundbite because I think everybody has heard it this week. But if you haven't heard it, Jason Kidd pretty much said, "Look, man, we taking Luka for granted. We need to get him help here, and he's gonna win multiple rings if we get him help. And he's not a guy that's in Dirk's range. He's in MJ and Kobe and LeBron's range." That's what he said. So I talked about all of that on Tuesday. I linked that episode in the description. But now I want to ask y'all the question. Let's even take it back because we know that was Cap when he said he's in Kobe and Mike's realm.
Of course.
But I don't even think he was right about the Dirk part of it. All right, and here's Darren Patrick talking about Jason Kidd saying he was better than Dirk.
Because he doesn't play any defense. And, Kobe played defense. Mike played defense. LeBron used to play a lot of defense, or at least come up with a lot of steals. But, I mean, you're adding even more pressure to him by saying all these nice things about him. He's a wonderful talent. But, do I want him to focus on winning a championship? And what does that mean? Because Michael Jordan was a scoring machine, averaging 37 a game. And what happened? They eventually said to him, maybe we need to surround you with some talent here. Yeah. And Mike deferred his, he took less money in his salary. I think at one point he was the 5th or 6th highest paid Chicago Bull. And they went out and got talent. And Jerry Krause did a wonderful job in bringing in players, the right players, role players. If Mike doesn't win a title, Mike's like Allen Iverson. Like, man, was he awesome. Vince Carter, Dominique. Winning a championship is what changes people in how they view you. I mean, Mike may not feel different winning championships as he did putting up, 63 on the Celtics, but our image of him changed. If Bill Russell doesn't win 11 titles, if he wins one, he's not a top 10, 15 player. But he won. He's the greatest winner of all time. I mean, that's the magic elixir. Luka is just a great scorer. Ball dominant where it doesn't matter how many times you shoot, doesn't matter how many threes you take, doesn't matter how many turnovers you have. Today's game is about volume. Hey, I put up 50. I mean, I'm surprised that we don't have it on a nightly basis now where somebody puts up 50. And it used to be when you got to 50, it was like, damn, did you see who had 50? Now it's like, 50? Okay. Yeah, how about 60 and 20 rebounds? Okay, all right, that's pretty good. These are like video game numbers that these guys are putting up. But for Jason Kidd to say that about Luke, and look, I don't know if you need to bring in Dirk in here, that he's better than Dirk. Dirk won a title. Dirk got to 2 NBA finals. I'm going to take Dirk over Luka. Certainly, if I'm taking Luka's, the resume that he has now, I'm taking Dirk. Now, Luka, when he's 30, what do you have on your resume? That's what I would be curious here. All
right, so there's Darren Patrick saying he's taking Dirk, right? I'm taking Dirk. I think Dirk's still better than Luka right now. I think Luka is some things that he does offensively with the ball that Dirk can't do because he's a 7-footer that plays power forward. He's not a guard, right? But I think Dirk's a better player, and the proof is in the pudding. Now, going out and going to get numbers, yeah, Luke can do that better than a lot of people. But it ain't all about just numbers. It's about winning. And are you doing the other things? Are you defending? Or are you just out there putting numbers up, man? But what's y'all thoughts? Are y'all taking Luka or Dirk?
Come on, man.
Give me Mr. To-Go play, dog. Every time.
Every single time.
I'm taking Dirk, man.
It don't matter who I'm taking. But I know Mark Cuban and Luka and Kyrie and Tyson Chandler, all of them taking Dirk over Luka.
Yeah, but J Kidd got a ring with Dirk, and he's talking about Luka is better than Dirk. I don't understand that. You got to see the greatness of Dirk.
Prior to this,
you got to see Dirk take down a super team in Miami.
Listen, prior to J Kidd saying this, when's the last time you said his name?
Clicks. What we was talking about earlier. Let's get these clicks up. Let's get this attention.
So what's his motive? Is that his call to the organization to get more players for Luka? I'm sorry, newsflash. You can't get the type of players you think Luka need. They can't help you because what are they going to do when they get there if you're still running this offense where Luka has the ball all the time? How can I help you if I don't get the ball?
J Kidd hadn't figured out yet that they're not trying to win. They're trying to showcase Luka.
Of
and
course.
If he ever figures it out, he'll quit saying dumb stuff like what he said.
Yeah, I don't
mean, hey, no disrespect to Luka Gang, man. For a semi in shape European dude that plays no defense, he has an excellent game.
Yeah.
However, it's not even one of one. It's not like the results are one of one because no one else is allowed to have quite possibly one of the top 3 point guards in the league on your team that you don't use.
And he in his prime. He not like Kidd in 39.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out what LeGlenn G is talking about with this great team.
Listen, I was about to ask y'all, bro.
Hold on. I'm gonna let you cook on that, Chris, but I just want to say this. That's the problem. You can build a great team around Dirk because how Dirk plays. You know
the ingredients that go in that pot. You know what needs to go in that pot.
Exactly. You're never going to put the team around Luka is always going to look insufficient because of the style they play. And the flip side about it there is the style that they play is the reason why people think he's so great because he's able to get these stats. If he played like Dirk off the ball, and put it this way, JJ Barea, Jason Terry, Jason Kidd all handled the ball a lot for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
If you take them same players right now and put them on Dallas, what are they going to do?
Stand in the corner.
Stand there.
Stand in the freaking corner. So I don't want to hear that Luka don't have no good team. He had Brunson, who everybody got in the MVP conversation right now. He had Brunson. And he had Brunson and Porzingis at the same freaking time. And look what Porzingis is doing in Boston. Look what Brunson is doing in New York. He had both of them at the same time. He had Kyrie this season. Kyrie playing beside Luka can't even make All-Star no more.
So hold on, time out. If your favorite team had JJ Barea, Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, and Tyson Chandler, and Sean Mary, if that was your favorite team minus Dirk, that team not going to the playoffs.
No,
100%. That was my point. That's real, Jay. That's real.
The great team, like
the reason
Dirk
why
was a great team.
The reason why that team was great is because, like Mel said, they got the pieces that went with a centerpiece player, right? So Dirk is a 7-footer, but we not calling him our big man defender. So you go get Tyson Chandler. Mm-hmm. Dirk is also our primary scorer. So we need somebody that's going to be able to bring the ball up and facilitate. That's where you got Barea, Kidd, and Terry. Mm-hmm. We need somebody who can, catch and shoot and create offense when they double Dirk. That's where you got Sean Mary. They built the team.
They had Pages too.
Yep, and they built that team. So you take Dirk away. No, that's not a great team. But you take the players. A lot of those players on Luka's team right now are it makes it a great team. If we look at the paper wise, that's a great team. But you can't see the greatness of that team because they don't get to touch the ball when Luka's in the game.
And if we're being honest, around that time, 2012, 2013, 2014, that was probably the last time where you were kind of asked to play your role. In this new positionless basketball that is played, you can be 7 foot and cook in the perimeter. Them old school coaches, man, if you don't get your 7 foot butt down there and play with your back to the basket, you know what I'm saying?
Block a shot.
Not to mention, you look at the teams that Dirk had to go through with that team to get to that championship.
Yeah,
beat Kobe them.
Beat Kobe them. Did he beat Tim Duncan in them too?
I mean, he went through a gauntlet in the West, man.
Went through a gauntlet, bro.
I think Kobe and them had just won the finals the year before that against Boston. Came in, lost to Dallas in the first round. Then they had to go through. I want to say OKC. Then it went through. Who they go through in the?
It was OKC. I remember that was Durant Westbrook era when they was really, really balling. Durant had a crazy dunk that series, but I mean, it was the Spurs after that, wasn't it?
It might have been the Spurs.
Conference finals, yeah.
So for you to go through the Lakers at the height of their thing and OKC at the beginning of their power, and then the Spurs in the middle of theirs, and then get to the finals and be the super team, bro. Stop.
Come on,
man. Wicked, bro. Man. It's wicked, bro.
That's crazy. Don't ever. Go ahead, Chris.
Man. And the year that Luka got to the conference finals, what teams did he go against?
He went. I don't know, but he went against Phoenix and CP3 in that second round, but that was the Scott Foster series.
That was Scott Foster series.
Didn't CP get hurt? Didn't CP get hurt in that one?
No, it was just he probably did, but he played, and that was the Scott Foster series. They was up 2-1 or maybe 3-2. And lost 2 straight. It was bad. It was a combination of Luka getting hot, the whole Dallas team getting hot in that game 7, but it was a crazy combination of Scott Foster going off in game 6 to force a game 7.
They had to get him in the conference finals.
And
then, that was disgusting.
Then when Luka got to the conference finals and went against a team,
Golden State,
doors blowed off.
Doors blowed off of him. People dunking on him, putting foot in mouth, hand. He had hand, foot, mouth disease and neck disease. Yeah, all that.
That man was
hand, foot, nose, mouth, balls disease. the way Wiggins dunked on that man.
Man, listen.
He said that is crazy. But nah, man, they had to get Luka in a conference finals because Trey had already went. And he played against, they have to maintain that, when the agenda is agenda, and they got to make sure it keeps agenda. And, let's give Luka this accomplishment, but like, that's what his accomplishments have been. Like we talked about in the beginning with the whole Jordan and Sheed thing, your stats need to lead to something. What is the pinnacle for your stats? What does that even mean? What does it mean that you can get a triple-double? What did it mean that you scored 70-something points if your team ain't been – before you went to the conference finals, you didn't get out the first round?
Didn't get out the first round. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Right. You getting put out the first round. You're not making the playoffs. You lucked up and Scott Foster helped you get to the conference finals. Whoop-de-doo.
Congratulations. It's a bunch of –
that man mad at the kid.
Shout out to Liquid Swords, man, because that Dirk chip is tougher than any of Bron's rings, bro.
Not to mention he got to the finals against the Heat, Shaq and Wade, and I think his teammates was Devin Harris at the point. He might have had freaking
Roddy Beaubois backing up the play.
I'm like, come on, man. And he was up on them 2-1. Dirk was certified, bro.
If it wasn't for D-Wade going absolutely crazy in them last 4 games,
nuclear.
Not just D-Wade going crazy. D-Wade also shot 30 free throws in almost one quarter.
This is true.
Let's be real.
Dirk would have 2, and to make it to even be in a conversation when you are the best player and nobody on your team is even close to your caliber. That says all I need to say about Dirk. Luka hadn't been that. Luka hadn't been there. So salute to Dirk, man.
I'm gonna tell you what Tony. I'm gonna play what Tony Parker said. I'm gonna open the phone lines, then we're moving to Super Bowl. All right, this is what Tony Parker said on D Wade's podcast, The Why. It was Paul Gasol, Dirk, Wade, Tony Parker. They was all having a conversation before they was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And listen to what he said.
Because no disrespect to the older guys, but when we all came, in the league, that was the first time that with Dirk and Powell, you had NBA franchises started to believe that we can have a European player as our franchise player. And Dirk was the first one to do that, like to be the franchise guy.
Yeah.
And then Powell with Kobe, then me with Timmy and Manu, and then now you have a lot of European guys who are their franchise guys. But Dirk paved that way for us as Europeans. My thing was to become the first European point guard, but franchise that's Dirk. And I'll see him like in front of him, like all the discussions every time we talk, with Europeans, like any interviews you'll see of me, I always say Dirk.
Dirk, you agree with that?
No, I'm not sure.
No, that's a tough question.
I appreciate it.
But Dirk, my question to you would not be if you agree if you're the GOAT, but what are your feelings on? I knew Tony was going to say that. By the way, I knew he was going to say he was the GOAT. And I knew he was going to say he was second. I don't know why. What do you guys feel about Giannis and Jokic and these young guys? Because to me, you guys are the first wave of European superstars. Not good players, not even great players, but superstar players. So what do you guys feel about, and I'm asking this question because in America, it's a different battle between the next GOAT, right? No one wants nobody to surpass them sometimes. How do you guys feel about this next wave of European players that are amazing players?
I'm actually more proud watching them, honestly. We all know records are there to be broken, and stuff always happens. Somebody always comes along who's better and does better things, or does more, is more athletic. I mean, it just happens. That's life. So I'm actually proud watching these guys. I mean, I see Luka every day, the stuff he does, and he'll be in the conversation for a long, long time. What Giannis is doing.
Luka is no Dirk. No, sorry.
Really? He's well on his way. He's well on his way. He's well on his way.
He said he's well on his way.
He's well on his way.
Hey, Tony Parker came in and did the Kanye. Hey, I'm gonna let you finish. Luka is no Dirk. I'm sorry. Luka is no Dirk. What y'all think he meant by that? Why I opened the phone lines up? What y'all think? Why you think he said Luka's no Dirk?
Because he ain't.
Because what lie was told?
Yeah, he just kept it real. That's all. He was honest.
He meant exactly what he said. Luka, hey, you cool and all, but nah, man. That ain't him.
You cool and all.
All right, man. Phone lines is open, man. Y'all can call in.
I think also it's a little bit of a grenade to jump on, because we are in the era of basketball now where scoring is king, points is king, offense is what sells tickets now. You know what I'm saying? Defense was never, flashy, and then these defensive games, nobody likes that. Everybody wants to see a shootout. Everybody wants to see fireworks, right? So when we saw Dirk play, Dirk was part of the more slower pace, methodical, and everybody played their position. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are like, well, Luka does this. Luka does 30, 40, 60 point triple doubles, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's cool. But does it result in a W or an L? Does it result in you making a deep playoff run, or you getting bounced, or not even making it? Well, I think last year they didn't even make the playoffs, right?
They did.
But Dirk understood the game, understood what his role was, and he was able to go toe to toe with Tony Parker and Tim Duncan 4 times a year plus the playoffs. Kobe and Shaq 4 times a year plus the playoffs. Had to withstand that OKC wave, not to mention whatever else was going on in the West, because the West has always been a powerhouse, right? And to get it, and have these deep playoff runs almost every time, you can't say it. And coming from Tony Parker, somebody who I got bounced by you a couple times, I had to see you a couple times. I'm telling you that Luka's no Dirk. Take that what it is. Take that at face value. Like, Luka is no Dirk, and it's not close.
Is it fair to say that this is the Euro version of the GOAT debate?
Absolutely.
Sure.
That's fair.
Who would you say it is? He's saying it. Tony said that Dirk is the European GOAT. I agree.
And then as soon as Luka got brought in the conversation, Luka was
Hey, technically, Tony Parker European too. So I would
I put Tony over Luka.
You
ain't like, I don't think no lot. I mean, yeah, he wasn't the number one option. He had greatness with him, but for what he did, he won. He won game. He's a part of the reason why I could put Tony above Luka is because he won. He won. Luka. What has Luka accomplished?
Tony's good. That's tough.
What has Luka accomplished? That's my only.
Okay, so I can't say whose resume is the best, right? Because Luka's only been in 6 years, but I can say who is the better player, and that's more of a debate. Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Luka is more of a debate. It's no debate with Dirk. Dirk hands down.
That's fair.
That's fair. I would say he's not. There's Dirk, and then there's everybody else. I think we could say when as far as Europeans go, like Dirk is in a class by himself because he was doing what he has been doing in a time where Europeans were just puzzle pieces. Role players rather than focal points and number one options. And you know how we feel about our number one options. Dirk was the best player, hands down, on his team, and they built that team correctly around him a couple of different times. And, so, I mean, I think that Luka, yes, I am not for giving him so much props so early when your style of play is catered to make you balloon stats. You know what I'm saying? Right. I can't. It's hard for me to give him that credit. It's hard. It's difficult. And I'm not taking away from him as a player because I do think with the right system and the right play style, he is a good player. But if I tell Melvin, which we hooped together before, but if I say, Mel, don't ever pass the ball. I want you to get the ball, and I want you to, every time I want you bringing the ball up the court, I want you to shoot whatever shot that you feel is comfortable. I want you to pass whenever you feel is comfortable. I want you to chase every rebound. Don't try to box your man out. Don't try to do any of that. Just chase every rebound. And at the end of whatever season we play, let's look at Melvin's stats.
They'll be
they're gonna be explicit.
They're gonna be
NC-17.
They're gonna be crazy. And if you look at my stats and we and him playing on the same team, mine ain't gonna look as good. But that's not to say anything, because the system is built around Melvin. Anytime the system is built around you, at the end of the day, you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. Ain't nobody else touching the ball. I just have a problem with the pedestal that they put. Listen, I ain't even gonna do it. I ain't gonna say nothing about Joker today. We're gonna keep going.
They going crazy on Tony Parker in the comments.
Well, then he clapped Brent Berry's wife cheeks, man. Y'all is crazy, man.
Hey.
Wow for that.
Y'all is sick, man. Y'all sick with it, boy.
Man,
all right,
this
man.
This is not taken away from like Jokic and Giannis, but like they're still on the climb, right? They're still, but we've seen Dirk, you know what I'm saying? And what Dirk was able to do, Dirk did a lot with less than what a lot of these European players are doing now, right? Can we agree with that? Like the team that Dirk had is talent-wise less than what a Jokic or a Giannis or a Luka has currently?
No.
You saying the team that Dirk had talent-wise is less than what Luka has?
Like Luka, Giannis, and Jokic talent-wise.
If we're comparing the teams,
I don't know.
I think it gets real slippery when you get there. Pause.
Yeah, I mean, but because now this is the thing. Based on what your talents is on the court, there is certain teams that are built perfectly for you. Right. And like, for example, Allen Iverson did not have a great team built around. Well, he did have a great team built around him in Philly, but it wasn't a group of guys who could really score really good.
Yeah,
the reason why that was perfect for Iverson is because he was a volume shooter who could score in bunches, and he needed someone that didn't want to score. If you put a great scorer with Iverson, it would clash, and that's why it didn't work when he went to Denver with Carmelo. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he left and they got Billups in there, that team worked tremendously and got to the conference finals and was supposed to beat the Lakers and get to the finals. Right. So for Iverson, he needs to be the focal point. He needs to have guys that just play defense, rebound, pass the ball, and get him open. That's perfect for Iverson. And it doesn't look like a good roster, but it's the best roster that for his style of play. Which is the same thing when everybody say that LeBron carried bums to the finals. That's the best team for LeBron. He needs shooters that really don't, that they can't get their own shot, so they'll be okay with standing in the corner all game waiting for him to pass them the ball. You get what I'm saying? So that's how that's why I don't never fall for that when they were like he took bumps to the finals. Yeah, that's the best team built around him. So it's kind of hard to say that Dirk squad is trash, because that squad that was built around him with J Kidd, Jason Terry, Barrera, I mean, that was perfect for Dirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I didn't say they was trash. I'm just saying like the talent level on that roster is
at that time. I mean, you got look at it. Sean Marion was not in his prime. I feel like Sean Marion's prime was Phoenix.
Yeah. Caron Butler was not in his prime. Pager was not in his prime.
Pager was not in his prime.
Wasn't in his prime.
He wasn't in his prime.
The only prime players he had was Tyson Chandler, and Jason Terry was at the end of his prime.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Tyson was definitely in his prime at that time.
Yeah, he was in his prime. He was in his prime. He was still young before. Finley wasn't in his prime.
Finley was there.
No, Finley might not have been there then.
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. But none of those guys was in his prime, in their prime. So I get what Chris is saying. Like, I think that Luka played with Jalen Brunson, and if he had an opportunity to be Jalen Brunson, that we would have seen this Jalen Brunson that we're seeing now, or at least a version of that when he played with Luka. And I think the same thing can be said for KP. He was finally healthy in Dallas. I think if we could have seen him play the way KP plays, I think that we would have seen a version of what we're seeing now with two other all-stars in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but he's still being able to stand out, down there, up there in Boston. So I think what Chris is saying is that at the particular time, comparing Luka's team to what Dirk had then, in the time frames, I could say that Luka has played with probably at the time more talented guys at that particular time.
Yeah.
But I
that
think
Porzingis Brunson team was definitely. Go ahead, Jay.
I think Luka's style of play is a prime killer. Like, you don't get to see what anybody else can do if they're in their prime or not. But
that style, his style of play requires players that are average.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't get a guy that has a lot of capability to stay there and sit and watch him dribble. In order for him, he has to have a reason to do everything for the offense. The better players he get, the less reason he got to control everything. So if he want to continue to play like that, he has to have average players.
Yeah.
Now, and that's just the truth. But all right,